what's up, bro? In this video you're gonna see me create a game from scratch, and I've had this game idea for a while now. I don't know why I haven't made it before, but I just said, if I'm gonna make this game, why not just show you the process of making a real game. Okay, so what game are we gonna be making? We're gonna be making a Harry Potter inspired game. You know how in Harry Potter some students like are able to do like a 1v1 and they're standing on a platform, right? Well, we're gonna try to replicate that, but instead of being a 1v1, there's gonna be teams. They're gonna be standing on a platform, and the point of the matches are going to, like, the win conditions are gonna be, you're gonna have to throw your opponent off the platform, or you're gonna have to kill your opponent, whichever one happens first. Once all the players of the opposing team are dealt with, then your team wins. And for this video I'm gonna try to make the platform, the matchmaking system, and also at least one of the skulls, and I'm gonna show you how I do it. Alright, let's get to it. Alright, bro, so as you can see here, we have a platform, and the first thing we're actually gonna do is write down everything that we want to make. So I'm going to open my notepad. I'm going to write down everything that the game needs. Okay, so once you open OneNote for Windows 10, this is the one I like to use because it's just more organized and everything. You have all your notes in one space. You click add section over here, and then from there we're gonna type this. Okay, so this game is gonna be called Wizard Showdown. We might change the name later, but let's just keep it at that for now. And then here we're gonna write basics for development, and then here I'm just gonna write down everything that the game is going to, you know, need to function, at least like to be playable. Give me a sec. Okay, so this is what I made. As you can see, we have a bunch of stuff written down in here, and this is what you want to do when you start any new project, when you're starting to make the base for that project. You want to have a rough idea of what you're going for in that base, so you don't get confused midway. And later on you might have to do something like this for every system that your game has, depending on how complex the system is. When you get to scripting, of course, you could also do this in building, but I guess it's not as necessary as scripting. I think so. I might be undervaluating building and meshing, but I know that in scripting at least it's very useful when you do this. But this is just the base of the game. So if you want to read through it, you can just pause the video. I'm not gonna read through all of this because then people are just gonna get bored, and I know that some people have very low attention span, so I'm gonna save yourself the pain. And yeah, let's just start with the first thing. I think the first thing we're gonna do is just gonna build the platform where the players are gonna be, and also build the lobby. Actually, I'm gonna start by building the lobby. Probably gonna speed this part up. Now I'm finally done with the lobby. You can't see it, but it's essentially a giant cube, and yeah, players will just spawn in this giant cube. The match will be taking place over here. This is where the platform will be, and they will be able to spectate just by being inside the cube, just like Blade Ball. And now I'm gonna make the platform. So yeah, give me a second. I'm gonna speed this up. I don't know why that took so long, but essentially this is the platform. As you can see, there's a blue side and there is a red side. Actually, I forgot to put a wall in the middle so players can't actually like go to the other side, but I'll figure that out later. And yeah, this is pretty much gonna be the platform. Players are gonna be here inside this box, just like in Blade Ball. They're gonna be able to see the match. Maybe this could be a little bit closer to the box, and maybe a little bit more down. Yeah, this seems okay. And basically when the match starts, it divides the players into, you know, the teams, blue team and red team, and they're gonna spawn right here. And as you can see, there's like different tonalities in different parts of the platform, and that is because essentially every X amount of time the furthest of these parts are gonna disappear, and the platform is going to more or less like shrink until only these two parts here remain, because I don't want players to you know, like pretty much dodge forever or start like, I don't know, pairing forever. I just want to make it so that it gets increasingly difficult as time passes, so there's less chance of players actually surviving until the end of the match. And I think a good duration for the match would be 3 to 5 minutes. I think 5 minutes might be okay, and of course if all the players of the opposing team die, then the match automatically ends there. So I think 3 to 5 minutes will be okay. What we're gonna be doing now, we're gonna be doing the matchmaking now. If I test this, if I click play over here, I spun in the box and the platform fell because I don't know. Also, we want to make the game R6, so let me just change that real quick. But as you can see, we're floating in the air because we're inside this invisible box, just like Playable, right? So let's go ahead and stop this, and we're gonna anchor this, and we're also gonna make the game R6. So we're gonna go to game settings over here. We go to avatar R6, and animation is going to be standard. You don't have to do that for R6, but I'm just gonna do it anyways because why not. And now if we test again, we should get the result that we wanted. And okay, cool. As you can see, the platform is floating there. We're floating as well. So before we can actually start coding, we actually have to create the teams. So we're gonna go to the team service. Here we go, and create a team, and then duplicate or insert another team. And this team is going to be named red team, and this other team is going to be named blue team. It's been a while since I've used the team service, so I don't really know how to use it that much. I might have to search some stuff up, but I think it's simple. I think it's pretty simple, shouldn't take long. And for the actual matchmaking script, we're going to go to server script service, and we're going to insert a script, and this script is going to be called matchmaking, and then we're going to delete that. So the first thing we're going to do here is get the player service. So we do local players is equal to game.getService players. And if we take a look at our notes, I actually wrote down how the matchmaking is supposed to work. So it says here how matchmaking supposed to work. The script is going to have 3 main functions looped on an infinite loop. And the first one is going to be intermission, which is what waits between the matches. The players check, which checks if there are enough players to start the match, and then the match. So in players check, if there are not enough players, then it will just wait until the server has enough players to start the match. And the match is just what starts the actual match. So we're going to do that in that order. First, we're going to code the intermission, then the players check, and then the match. And okay, so it's also said that it's going to be looped inside an infinite loop, so we're going to create that right now. So while wait 1 do, so it's going to loop every 1 second. Typo there, fix that. And then we can actually start creating our functions. So the first function is the intermission function, right? So that's what we're going to create, local function intermission, and we have that there. And then we're going to have the players check function, and then we're going to have the match function. And here we're gonna write them down in that same order. So intermission, and then once intermission finishes, it's going to check players, and then once that finish, it's going to go to the match. Okay, so we're gonna have to create some variables as well. So I'm going to create here the variables. Let's divide our script here so we can have it like more organized. Let's just leave the space there for now, and let's just start coding. So intermission, let's create a variable here called local intermission length, and there's going to be measured in seconds. Now let's say we want the intermission to be 60 seconds, right? So we're gonna wait 60 seconds, and for now that's all we need to do. We might make this more elaborate in the future, but for now that's how we're gonna do it. Okay, then here in the players check, we're gonna check how many players are in the server, and if there are 2 or more players, then the match will start. So for that, we're gonna have to do local amount of players. It's equal to hashtag players dot get children, and this will give us the amount of players that are in the server right now. And then if amount of players is greater or equal, actually let's just have it greater than 1, then meaning 2 or more, right? Actually let's just put this greater or equal to 2, just so you don't get confused, because maybe you're new to scripting. I don't know which one's more clear, but they're the same thing basically. And now here we're going to return true, which essentially, actually something that I forgot to do over here is that I forgot to add the actual like spawn for the teams. Hold on, let me just do that real quick. So the spawns is just a part, right? You just insert your part like this, maybe put it a little bit more up, and then try to center it. Doesn't have to be perfectly centered, no one's gonna notice, right? And then the transparency, you put it equal to 1, and then you go, oh, what did I do? Oh, hold on, I'm tripping. Transparency equal to 1, you anchor it. Anchored. My mic's in the way, I can't really see my keyboard that well. So okay, and now we put this inside the platform and inside the red side. Oh, I put it in the blue side, inside the red side, and you call this spawn. Duplicate it, put one in the blue side, and the one that's in the blue side, then you just move it to the blue side. And essentially what we're going to do is we're going to spawn the players near this spawn point. This is just going to be a reference point for us to know where to spawn the players more easily. And yeah, I think now we're set, right? Yeah, we're set. The point of this function is to wait until the server has enough players to start a match. So essentially it's going to see if there are 2 or more players in the match, and if there aren't, then wait, hold on. If the amount of players is smaller than 2, then it's going to wait while amount of players it's smaller than 2. Oh, my bad. And then it's just going to wait 1 second until the amount of players is greater, equal, or greater to 2. Essentially, I think it is. Let's just put this. Yeah, so essentially as soon as the number is greater or equal, it's essentially like greater than 1, then it's going to, actually I think this could work as well, right? Yeah, okay, so as soon as this is not, as soon as there are 2 or more players in the match, then this will pretty much end this loop, and we will be able to start the next function, which is going to be the match function. Let me just reiterate what this does again, because I think I explained it poorly. So this takes the amount of players we have in the game. This checks if the amount of players are smaller than 2, and if they are smaller than 2, then it will wait until the amount of players is greater than 2. Actually, I need to change this to hashtag, because if you just use this variable never changes, right? You have to retype this so it actually checks for the amount of players that we have. So while the amount of players is less than 2, then it's going to wait 1 second until it's, you know, equal to 2 or greater. And essentially you might be wondering, well, what if it's already equal to 2 or have more than 2 players in the match? Then obviously it will just not run this and end the function early, and it will start the next function, which is the match function, right? So that's what's happening. And local function match. Now this is the match that's going to pretty much divide every single player, or split every single player into teams, right? Not every single player, but you know what I mean. It's going to, you know, make the teams and everything, and then it's going to spawn the players. So the first thing we gotta do is actually make the teams, right? Assign each player a team. And I actually forgot how to do that. Let me just investigate real quick. Okay, so I did a quick Google search, and I think I know what I need to do now. And essentially we're gonna have this as true or false. Like this is we're gonna create a variable that's going to be true or false, which is gonna let us know which team to assign. Wait, hold on. Last assigned, local last assigned. So this is gonna let us know which was the last team that we assigned to a specific player, and that way we're gonna know that the next player is gonna have to be assigned the other team that is not the one that we assigned last time, right? This is gonna make sure that the teams are even, right? So what we're gonna do now is, actually before this, is check if the amount of players that we have is also greater than 2. And you might wondering why, if you checked it beforehand, because players might leave, and if they leave, then it's just gonna break the entire script, and I'd rather just have it end the function early and start the intermission again, or rather than, you know, like breaking the actual matchmaking script and players won't be able to play on that server again. So yeah, it's just a safety measure. And then we have the last assigned variable over here. So if the amount of players that we have is greater than 2, wait, no, smaller, greater, this is gonna greater than 2. If the amount of players that we have is greater or equal to 2, then this is gonna run. And last assigned, this is gonna, I already explained what that variable is gonna be used for. And what we're gonna do now is going to loop through the whole players, right? Players dot get children. We're not gonna go. I, v in pairs. Oh my god. Pairs. Players dot get children do. So this is gonna loop through all the players, and all we gotta do now is access the team property of the player, because the player has a property called team. V dot, hold on, local. We're gonna create a variable before we actually assign the team, so we can actually know what team we have to assign it to. So local corresponding team is going to be equal to nil, right? And pretty much we're gonna modify this variable right now depending on what this variable is equal to. So if the last assigned variable is equal to nil, which is going to be the first ever iteration of the for I, v in pairs loop, right? If that, meaning the first player that it iterates to, since this is going to be equal to nil by default, then this is going to be, you know, we'll have to put this as a case, because otherwise it's going to say red or blue otherwise, but in the first case it's going to say nil because we haven't assigned a previous player a team, right? So we have to put this as something that we need to address, right? So if the last assigned is equal to nil, then the corresponding team, actually I misspelled this, the corresponding team is going to be equal to red. So the first ever player that it loops to is going to assign to the red team. Hold on, actually let's write down red team. There you go. And now we have to address another case, which is else if last assigned is equal to red team, then the corresponding team is going to be blue team, right? And then the other case is if the last assigned team was blue, then the corresponding team is equal to blue team. Wait, no. Hold on, red team. There we go. And we can actually not use the strings here and actually get the team itself. Hold on. Let's see. Game.getService teams dot red team. Actually, wait for child red team. And this is the actual instance of the team, and it's going to save us one step. So here we do the same thing, and we're gonna put blue team, and then here same thing, and we're gonna put red team. And this is just gonna give us access to the actual instance of the teams, and we just have to assign it to the player. So now that we have this variable containing the actual instance with the actual corresponding team that we have to assign the player to, then we're just gonna get v.team. I think that's the property that contains the team of the player, and we're just gonna make that equal to the corresponding team, right? And actually, let's just confirm that this is actually the property that we need to change before we do anything else. So you just go ahead and test it. Just click play, and here you see like the three teams. We have red team, blue team, and we have neutral. Neutral is just someone that, you know, it's spectating it or died. But essentially what we want to verify is the property called team. Now here it is, team. You see, so it's a property called team. So okay, we did it right, and I think that's going to put the player in the corresponding team that it needs to go to. After this is done, so pretty much this is going to be assign every player a team, and essentially once that's done, then we have to teleport every single player inside of these teams to the match. And I wonder if there's actually like a way to get all the players from a specific team. I think there has to be a way, right? I'll just investigate that real quick. Let me see if I can actually find it out in the workspace without having to do a Google search, but I think there's a way, and if there isn't, it's okay. I mean, we can just work around it. Well, let me see. So we had teams. Let's say, okay, so let's go to our player team property, this blue team. Well, let me do a quick Google search, because that would actually save us one step. Give me a second. And yeah, there is a way to get all the players. You just gotta do team dot get players, and it returns an array with all the players of the team that you specified. So what we're gonna do now is spawn every single player from each team, right? Since we want to do this automatically, we're gonna loop through the team service. What we're gonna do is, so v are gonna be the teams, right? So the first thing we're gonna do is we're going to do local player team players, and this is going to be equal to v dot get players, and this, as it says here, this should return like all the players of that team. Actually, let's just verify that real quick. That's what I want to know. No. V dot team. See more about get players. Use team dot get players. Okay, so apparently, yeah, that's the way. Let me see if this I could have just cut this part out, but I want to, you know, show how I do the games, because you don't know everything. Sometimes you just have to do this and verify what you're doing. So get players, returns objects, team. Yeah, exactly. So that's how you do it. So we're gonna do the same thing. Team players v the get players. This is gonna give us all the players that are inside that team. And what else? And then afterwards, we're gonna spawn all the players on the corresponding part, right? Platform. And actually, let's just change this to, let's change the name of the parts of the platform to blue team, so it's easier to find for the script. And then change this to red team. Okay. And okay, what else? So now we have to loop through team players. Team players. This is going to be an array, so I don't think we have to do get children. Yeah, we don't have to actually. And yeah, so in case you're wondering why I named this like with this underscore here, the reason is because we're already inside a loop that is already using I and B, so you just have to use another name. And since I don't want to overcomplicate things with weird names or anything, I'm just gonna use this. I just feel more comfortable. This is just how I code. And essentially we need to teleport them to the corresponding spawn part in the platform. So actually we're gonna have to get the platform here as well. Let me just get the platform and put it inside the variables. Local platform model equals to workspace dot platform. And yeah, I think that's gonna do it. So as you can see, you don't know all the variables that you're gonna need from the start. You just kind of create them as you go sometimes. So we already have the platform here, platform model, right? And what we're gonna do is gonna find the specific team that he corresponds to or is in the platform, and then from there just find the spawn part and just teleport him there. So let me just make sure that the spawn ports can collide option is false, because we don't want the players to be trapped inside there, right? Okay, now that that's done, we go local wait for child v, which is the team, right? We're looping through the team, v dot name, and that's going to find the which side of the platform the player is going to be spawned in. And then here we're just gonna go wait for child spawn, and yeah, there we go. Now we have the spawn part, and all we gotta do is teleport the player there. But before we do that, we actually have to get the character of the player, because this returns the player instance, not the character. So we're gonna go local char, meaning character, right? This is just a variable name, equal to v.character. And now we're gonna go if character. If we found the character, this is just so it doesn't break the script, right? I'm just trying to make sure it doesn't break the script. And you don't have to do this, but I just like to do it because sometimes the players leave mid something and it just messes up the script. But I just want to make sure that it doesn't break the script. So if it found the character, then when I get the humanoid root part, local chirpy equals to character. If humanoid root part, if it found also the humanoid root part, then it's going to move the humanoid root part, and that's going to teleport the player to their specific spawn part. And once that's done, then all we gotta do is wait for the match to end, right? You can't just do like task.wait or wait, whatever you use. I use wait. I think it's the same for me, right? But you can't just do like wait 180 seconds, which is like 3 minutes, because if you do that, then how are you gonna know if the match ended, right? What I actually like to do is I create a variable called local time passed, and it's equal to 0, and then I create another variable which is, actually let's put this like in the global variables here, right? Not the global variables, but like in the variables that every single function can see. So match length is going to be equal to let's say like 3 minutes for now. This is going to be measured in minutes, right? So essentially here local time goal is going to be equal to the match length times 60, right? Because we wanted it in minutes, and we're going to create a while loop. I'm going to say while time passed is smaller than time goal do, and of course we're going to make it wait 1 second, right? So we're going to wait 1 second, and then we're going to check if the amount of players in each team is greater than 0. And if there is a team which amount of players is 0, then that means that the opposing team won, right? That's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna create the win condition. We're gonna create a function for that. We're gonna do local function. Pretty much we're gonna use this same loop again, but we're gonna eliminate what it has inside of it, meaning we're gonna delete this. We just need like this right here, right, which is the teams loop. Actually, no, we don't need this. This is also something that happens a lot when you're coding. You think that you need something and then you realize that there's an easier way to do it. So since there are just 2 teams here, right, we can just manually do it, and there will always be just 2 teams for now. And in a future update I might change it, but for now there will always be 2 teams, right? So what we can do is actually just do local red team is equal to game.getService teams, the way for child red team, and then we can just get the blue team by copying and pasting this. I'm lazy, okay? I just like copy and pasting things. Blue team, and there we have it. And now we can check manually how many players they have. So local red players is equal to red team dot get players, and then we can do local blue players is equal to blue team dot get not get children, get players. And okay, so now here we're gonna have like the amount of players each team has, and okay, what we need to do now is check if there are any of them are equal to 0, and if one of the players are equal to 0, then pretty much the opposing team wins, right? If red players, we actually have to add a hashtag before the teams. Now that I remember, we actually have to do this here as well. Now we should be alright. Yeah, we should be okay now. And so we do if red team, if red players equal to 0, then return blue team, right? Because that's the team that won if red players are equal to 0. However, else if blue players are equal to 0, then return red team. Wait, hold on. Actually, now that I think about it, what if 2 people kill themselves at the same time? They're the 2 only people remaining. So we actually have to have like a tie for this. Hold on. So we're just gonna turn this into an else if, and we're gonna do if if red players and blue players, if red players is equal to 0 and blue players is also equal to 0, we actually have to add that as a condition that we need to address, because that might happen, right? Then it's going to return tie, which means like yeah, nobody won, right? Blue team, red team, and tie. And of course, if none of these conditions is met, then the function will return nil, which means that the players can continue to play, right? So since we created this function now, all we gotta do now is just go ahead and do local winner team is equal to nil, right? And then we do if not winner team, if winner team, then it's going to break this loop that it's in right now, and it's going to end the match, right? And this pretty much like ends the match if a team won. Pretty much that's what it does. Oh, we also have to make sure that the time passed goes up by 1. Bro, are you serious right now? Bro, it crashed. Damn, hold on. Yo, my heart left my soul. He left my body for a second, bro. Like, I thought we were gonna lose so much progress, but it turns out we're good. We're good, fam. We're good, bro. Now, where were we? I panicked so hard, bro. I don't even remember where we were. We gotta add 1 to the time passed every single second, like every time like this while loop ends, right? So that way we don't actually end up in an infinite loop. Also, you gotta make sure you wait 1 second. And now that that's done, I think that if we test this, actually get into the match. Hold on, let me change the intermission to probably 30 seconds. Let's just test this. This is how you test with 2 players at the same time without you having to get an out for it. And I just checked how much time I've been recording for, and I've been recording for like an hour, so I might have to divide this into a part 2. So probably once we finish the matchmaking, then probably I'll save like animations and spells for part 2, which don't worry, this is a part 2 that will actually come very, very fast. If you like the video, of course. If you like what I'm doing here, then part 2 should come very, very fast, meaning like on my next video probably. So okay, we have 2 players here. Let's see, we don't have any errors here still, so I'm guessing that the script is working fine. And we got an error. Wait, it put both players on the same team. Wait, what happened? Let's see. Server script service, invite argument number 1 to pairs, table expected, got number, team players. Oh yeah. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. I messed up there. Hold on, let me fix that real quick. You see, bro, sometimes you make dumb mistakes like this. And essentially the mistake here is I turned this into like a number value, meaning the amount of players that it has rather than the players that it has. And you can't loop through numbers, right? That's pretty much the error that we had. So yeah, let's just test this again. Wait, what? Okay, so it teleported us, but both players were assigned to the red team, and I don't think we have any errors. Yeah, that's pretty much an error on my logic side, right? Let's check what happened. So we clean this up. I'm telling you, you make dumb mistakes like this and you gotta go back all the time. Okay, so let's see. So if last assigned, okay, I see the error now. Okay, so essentially I forgot to update this variable over here because we never change it, right? It always stays as nil, and that's why it always gave us like the red team. So essentially what we need to do here is change last assigned to red team here, and then we change this to blue team here, and then here we go back and put it as red team. And actually another thing that we want to make is that when the time is up, meaning when it's outside this loop, we actually want to return the players to the lobby, right? And there is a spawn part in the lobby. If I can just find the lobby. Where is the lobby? Okay, so inside here there's a spawn part, and we're just gonna put the can't collide option, and we're gonna make sure that that's floating. Yeah, okay, so there is a spawn part there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the lobby folder in this variables thing. So we get a lobby, local lobby is equal to workspace dot wait for child lobby. And also we're gonna do the same thing with the platform because we wanted to wait platform. And so essentially now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get all the players from both teams and we're gonna teleport them to the spawn part, right? And we're gonna do local spawn part is equal to, wait, no, let's name this lobby spawn part, and we're gonna go lobby the wait for child spawn location. Let's change this to lobby spawn location so it matches the name of the actual part. And then we're gonna go for I, v in pairs game that gets service teams service, and now we're gonna go get children here as well, and then we're gonna get all the children of each and every single one of the teams, which is v, right? We're gonna go v. Actually, we're gonna create another loop for I v in pairs. We need to get the characters again. If character, then local humanoid root part, and then if it found the humanoid root part, then it's going to finally like teleport the player to the spawn location. So hrp.position is equal to lobby spawn location dot position, and that is going to teleport every single player from every single team to the spawn location that's in the lobby once the time ends. And just for test purposes, we're gonna change the match length to 1 minute, so we don't have to actually no, let's change it to like 0.1 minutes, and that's gonna give us like probably like 6 seconds or something like that. I don't know, but it's gonna be like a very, very short match, and that's how we're gonna know if, you know, the match script works exactly as we intended to. And something that we also have to do as well is we have to make it so that every single player that dies, their team is removed. So the way we do that is that we're gonna create another script in server script service, and we're gonna create it, and we're gonna name it player added removed and died. So essentially here we're gonna manage every single, you know, player that enters the game and exits the game or dies, and we're gonna give it a specific function to every single one of those actions. So first we gotta get the players here. Local players dot player added dot connect function, and now we can actually get the character as well by doing player dot character appearance loaded is the one I like to use. Connect function, and this gives you the character, and essentially from the character you can get the humanoid as well. Local hum is equal to char dot humanoid and humanoid dot died connect function, and then you can, you know, get the team of the player that died by doing player.team, and you can set that to nil, and that should remove the team that the character was assigned to. Let's test that real quick. Players, and we go team, we go here, search for the team property, and we go to teams over here and go blue team, for example. Now if we reset, let's try resetting. We reset. Oh, it did not work. It did not work. Hold on. There's a way to do this. Hold on, let me just Google it. Actually, I decided to do a little bit of debugging. I just added this print to check if this actually fires or not. Yeah, this is how you do debugging. You add prints, and that way you know how far your script actually runs. Let's try like assigning it through the server. So we go to players, we go to I am Ludius, we go to team, right? And we assign it into the blue team, for example, and now we are inside the blue team. We reset. Okay, now it worked. The reason why it didn't work before, I think, is because we did it through the client. Essentially, if you don't click this right here, the servers, the changes that you make are going to be made in the client. So essentially it worked, but you can't change the team property while you're inside a client. And now each time a player dies, their team is automatically removed, which it's useful, right? That's how you know if, you know, the player loses, I mean the team loses players. And that's what we need to do, is actually just test everything that we've done. So we go test start. Okay, now we're both in different, you know, teams, and let's see if it actually returns us to the lobby, or if it throws another error. Oh, it threw another error. Goddamn. Wait for child humanoid root part. Player 1, wait for child humanoid. Ah, a typo. Bro, you gotta be kidding me. So first of all, use find first child. There's no need to do wait for child. Find first child and humanoid root part. That's crazy. I missed that. And yeah, essentially that will teleport us back to the lobby. It should work perfectly fine now. Alright, so we're here waiting now. It should teleport us back to the lobby now. Okay, it teleported us back to the lobby, but it didn't reset our teams. What we're gonna do is, after it teleports it, we're gonna go v.team equals nil, and that's just going to like remove the teams from the players it teleported. And we also have the condition here that checks for the amount of players that are in the match. We're gonna test that right now. We're gonna check if one team's members or amount of members is equal to 0, if it actually ends the match or not to 0. So we go reset, we reset. There you go, there you go, there you go. So yeah, the script works perfectly fine. That's how you do matchmaking. That's how I do my matchmaking scripts. And yeah, I'm just gonna leave it here for today, because like gee, this video is like 1 hour long already. 1 hour and 31 minutes of recording. Yeah, let me know if you like this video and if you want part 2, because I'm going to continue this game regardless if I'm going to record myself, you know, developing the actual game or not. I'm going to still continue the game. So if you want to see me continue the development of this game, just tell me, and the next video I drop, I promise, will be about this game development inside this game. My brain is fried. Yeah, I'm not used to talking while I'm coding. That's why my brain is kind of fried. But anyways, keep leveling up, bro. Be safe, and I'll see you when I see you. Peace.